Yeah, it's definitely been a strong performance here, and once again, Simple knocking G2 down a peg early into a round, and it only gets worse from here on out. A third kill from Simple. And 43 frags between both Edward and Simple now. It seems just cool to tally them both up like that. It's quite impressive performances from them. Confident stuff. G2 looking to respond, however, to try and salvage this first half in whatever way they can. They are going to be getting shocked into the Suez position. Oh, this boost is absolutely diabolical. Let's see if Simple can get the pick off there. Oh, very close.
That's a great angle. You almost never see that angle being taken. So again, it seems like Na'Vi has put in hard work as well. Now we see shots in his usual position. This is somewhat business as usual. Apex and Body over towards the A site, getting some opening kills well his Body. NBK around the connector area will get second one, and now you look like a drug. I didn't even know that was possible, but there we go. The wonders of recycling. 12-2 of Na'Vi, looking strong, but G2 on the blind.
Nothing to be done. Another round for G2. That again, then MP9, they had a couple of FAMASs in there, they can upgrade, they can pick up 2 AKs. So they made a lot of value out of that round.
You do start, it's still early days in this half, but you do start to wonder if both teams are going to have equal success on the CT side and just have dominant performances. Maybe G2 will start to catch up on the kills and rack up those frags and put Na'Vi on the meat hooks. We will see. This round looks good for meat hooks because Na'Vi are only bringing pistols into this round. No grenades, not a single flashbang, nothing much to create space.
As you mentioned here, it's the CT side is going to be way easier for G2 to play because, like, okay, we have our setups, we know how that works. We can read the economy of our opponents and understand, generally speaking, what to expect and play around that positionally. It's a simpler dynamic, and you can just let the skill do the talking. There's not as much mid-round calling that's as necessary, not as much communication in that sense to change a plan dramatically. So everything should be smoother for sure. And the question really is whether Na'Vi have their strategies up together on this map. And with the likes of Simple, I mean, it really just takes that one round, doesn't it? When he picks up the AWP. To make things all go wrong for G2 though.
Not a single point of damage done by Na'Vi so far in this round. Seas has gone to collect the bomb by the balloons. Some trivia while we have some time. You can actually stand on those balloons. Okay, never mind that, because Flamey has got some openings towards the B bomb site, but NBK is still here around the monster position. He will hear these players moving forward, but the bomb is so far away. So what do? It seems like Seas is going to try and make a play towards A, with Na'Vi baiting towards B. But Apex is rotating back towards the A site, but NBK is being taken down, so surely they've got to go towards B. It's going to be an open A bomb site. Edward's on the rotation towards A already. They're selling the fake with only pistols. Flamey picked off. How long will it take G2 to realize? It's almost like Very Games versus Complexity at DreamHack.
And Seas will get that bomb planted here. Now, the CTs are generally out of position. They can get some shots off, but you can see that angle is exposed by the truck. Edward knocking Kenny's down and leaving it up to Apex. The man himself with the AK-47. Doesn't have a kit at the moment, needs to be quick about this one as he looks for his opponents. And this is such a hard position to play off of. Gets the first frag here, but he has to go for the commit, surely. I mean, he's in such an unwinnable spot, but does he have time to do this? It's going to take quite a while to get the defuse in here. It's going to be pretty tight. Apex looks like he has time. Oh my god, it's so difficult in those spots to make it work, but he made it look confident.
Crisis averted. I suddenly had visions of Complexity versus Very Games when there's a massive fight on the B bomb site. The bomb rotates to A. They realize too long, and then it's too late once they get there. But obviously it's overpass, so the rotation is pretty quick, and that's a great clutch by Apex. Baited the Na'Vi guys, and it's a tactical timeout for Na'Vi.
It's got to feel bad to lose that one. When you get that plant, you've got two players, a two versus one, and he's got no kit. You can essentially just play for massive delays. So hard for the CT to do anything there. Even if he gets the first kill, again, you kind of have to face into the container to actually defuse it. So it's really easy for the T to actually peek, see if you're defusing or not, and then just not commit to the fight. And you can just keep doing that over and over again. So it really demands the CT to be able to have incredible reaction time and incredible precision, and also, of course, a just very cool and calm, collected nature under pressure.
What Na'Vi can take away from that situation, though, is they did colossal and surprising damage to the C2 economy. They've still got a 5-round lead, so it only creates more potential opportunities for their team, win or lose that round. They have forced G2 to spend a lot of their cash. We saw what that meant with Cloud9 versus North in the previous match, and maybe the same will be true in this one. Edward looking towards the balloon area that we mentioned very briefly earlier on. Flamey keeping angles towards long, and he better do that because there are 2 Frenchmen in that position. Maybe a flank will be fast, especially with NBK coming into action.
Yeah, it's a great position to play from, but he's in trouble now. There's 2 players here coming for him. A quick peek there from Guardian will deal with him. It's very important to just quickly and swiftly get rid of NBK in that forward position, but Apex now causing problems from a forward position of his own, peeking out of long, getting the pick off and then falling all the way back. And that's great for G2, claiming the man advantage once again, and now leaving things to a 3 versus 4 for Na'Vi to play off of. They've got 45 seconds to go. They just threw the bomb back here towards Simple, so it looks like they're going to go towards A. Can they make it happen, though? Apex still lurking.
Two players in the long area, and the point is the bomb seems to be headed there as well. Guardian taken down, and now Simple's got a job to do. The bomb could have been spotted on the radar, definitely has been this time, and there goes the bomb. 20 seconds for FaZe, 1 versus 4, miles away from the bomb. The round is surely won by G2, definitely now that Kenny delivers the last kill on the A bomb site. Crisis averted for G2, 4 players surviving, a plus for their money after the losses in the one prior. Na'Vi can still buy. Guardian is a bit short, but for the most part, they got the guns. And they got the 4-round lead, but what they don't got, Stan, is a single round in this half.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, again, you can see, just imagine if G2 had a better plan on their T side. Obviously, Na'Vi were really good at resetting them and so on and reducing their buy rounds, but still, you can see the comfort that they have and the, when they're able to play the CT side, the skill that they have to bring into play. And they have the experience as well, not to be too deterred or lose any confidence should they have a bad start. It's a game of Counter-Strike after all, and can always make a comeback. And Na'Vi actually mixing things up here, going towards the sewers, going for a... Perhaps they play into the B bomb site, but first they want to get rid of some of these CT grenades, perhaps.
Yeah, there are a lot of grenades, but once the Na'Vi boys start to move in, definitely be guns out for G2. And you never know when someone's going to burst around the corner of short, so there's a flashbang from the side. They will only spot 1 player, so that could be a lurker, but do they hear some footsteps? More countermeasures coming in from the CTs, and it seems there's a rotation. It's a stronghold in the B bomb site at the moment. Kenny seems to be making his way there as well. As Apex has moved towards the toilets, he's got the info for his team to allow 4 players to be there for this defense, but still the push hasn't come in from Na'Vi. And indeed, they're rotating. They realize that all the CTs are there. Apex starting to move back, buying time. Doesn't need to get picked off. 29 seconds, 2 pistols, and the AK from Flamey. Spotted though through the smoke is Flamey. He will eventually get the kill, and now C's can pick up 1 more rifle. 20 seconds, NBK, his turn to hold things down there. Buying time, 2-man spray down, make it 1. I think Kenny got the last kill there onto C's. G2 prevail. So there was potential there for Na'Vi. It came and went.
Yeah, G2 doing a really good job here so far, just holding the line. And it's very interesting the way it differs, to the dominance of Na'Vi's first half, where it was really the individual star power, let's say, between Simple and Edward, who were able to just create, from the get-go, disadvantageous situations for G2 repeatedly. They're very evenly able to defend. No matter what, Na'Vi, at the moment, Apex just lurking around toilets. Na'Vi a bit paranoid of this, with these forward smokes, and Shox is going to join Apex as well now as the push comes into the site. They are going to rely on Kenny to deal with the players from long. Able to take down 1. There's more where that came from, though. But for Kenny, it is simply too easy. And that is a quick trio there for him. In fact, 4 in total in that round. And he is providing quite the answer to the AWPing that Simple was bringing on the first half. And that now brings G2 up to 10. And Na'Vi still on 12. And 12 they've been on for quite some time.
Yeah, and C's in 22 rounds has got 4 kills. So he and Body not having very good games at the moment. If one of those 2 players turns up, maybe that's the thing that takes their team over the line. Time will tell. Smiths with the bro fist, enjoying the back seat there. C's lurking towards the B bomb site once again. And then there are 4 players around the upper area towards A. Kenny is lurking. Kenny is ever dangerous. Apex almost shoulder peeking towards long. Spotted some players and he'll move back. Just some information. But how will G2 respond? They're not doing much. Apart from A, they're moving back. They've still got 3 players towards the B bomb site, so they're not too concerned at the moment. Minute 15 on the clock, and now NBK will start to head towards A.
A lot of passive setups here from G2 in recent rounds, and it's been working out quite the treat for them. It's making these small plays around these defensive positions. We can see Apex now actually getting the confidence to go forwards here on A long. On an investigation. This investigation, it's not going to be too successful, except he will find some information for the team, but it's a big bait. It was all a ruse.
Yeeted.
Straight into Kenny S's scope. Doesn't feel too good there for Na'Vi, and into B, they are forced to go.
Yeah, the pilgrimage of T players into the B bomb site so far, it's successful. But will they reach the heavens? Shox is in the water area, but it's NBK to save his teammate for a brief second. Can they mount some kind of defense there? Indeed they can, but the trades will continue in favor of Na'Vi. 2 versus 1 now. Apex on the high ground, looking around the smoke, and now the smoke has gone. Simple, close. Oh, it's so close! But the bullet will go the way of Apex. 13 to 10. Finally, Na'Vi get their first round on the board. But how many can they get? It's been a very hard-fought round for the team. Simple's got 2 kills in this half. Seized hasn't got any. Edward 2 kills. Me leading the charge with 6 kills for his team on the T half. So again, similar struggles to the G2 team, who are back on the full buy, and they've still got more money in the bank. The CT side. Ooh. That's a bad miss.
Yeah, you'd never like to see that one. Shouldn't be too consequential though for the Na'Vi side. Kenny S is actually on long at the moment with the AWP, as we can see here, just looking over the sign towards that boulder, which is oh so far away, but of course he is scoped in nice and tight. However, the flash will force him to fall back. That's a great flash there from Na'Vi. Crossing their T's, dotting their I's, being diligent with the use of their utility, and such is the, I suppose, the frustration with playing this side of the map as a T side to take down a player before the Na'Vi push can come in. That's the question. Another flash that works quite the treat there for Na'Vi, and they get ever closer to that A-bomb site.
Seized, picking the face, but the rotation is coming here. It's a full rotation from the CT side, and they've got the delay tactics there, the Molotovs, and Na'Vi almost getting barbecued, feel like they are forward. Bodies flying in the air, Apex getting traded, Na'Vi in the red for the most part. Simple may be down to him. It's a 2 versus 4. 30 seconds, no man's land. It's in Sniper Alley. And it seems that they're going to back off the Na'Vi side, or what remains of them. They don't have much money in the bank, and it seems that they feel this is not a salvageable situation, or not worth the risk. So they will get the hell out of there, and it will be 11 rounds for G2.
I'm not sure which player it was from Na'Vi that was in the serious position, but I think with all the information that Kenny S got, I think he must have seen like at least 2 or 3 players, saw all the nades flying over. He knew that a big bulk of the team for Na'Vi was towards that A-long area, and so in them getting the frag towards sewers, they know that the committed play has to come to A, because there's no double back potential. It's too risky. There's not enough time at that point with that player lost for the T side. So it's a very smart full rotation from G2. I mean, they did leave 1 player in jungle, but the rotation from that position is still very quick. So G2 read that perfectly, and what a CT side they're having.
Na'Vi with the AWP, the AK, and a bunch of pistols. We saw that desperate run from G2 with 2 AWPs where they tried to get some picks and weren't able to for the longest time. Will Na'Vi fear, will they be subject to a similar fate? Lots of players around that connects area. Now they're going to leave Guardian alone. Is he going forwards? Is he going backwards? He'll take the bomb with him, and there's some rotation towards the B area. And the B area is where there are 3 players. Both CT sides have put that extra man towards the B bomb site. So we'll see how it pays off for G2 in this round. The smoke is soon to disappear, and Na'Vi are collecting themselves around that monster position. and now moving into short B as well. So the split potential is there, but then so are 3 Frenchmen. Very proficient in le edge shots.
Guardian, there you go. Entry frag for him. What can his team build off of this with though? Because the rotation's coming in quick. Nicely done by Flame. He finds himself an MBK that's quite unawares as to what's happening there from the monster position. Shox though, forced out of position by the Flames, and we've got players flying all over the place now as Kenny has tried to respond, but he is alone, and he is desperately weak.
Did Guardian
fall back?
Did Guardian just wallbang him?
No idea.
I'm not sure if he did, but I saw Guardian going for some dirty angles through the wall. And Kenyas will ultimately be picked off by Seized. So that's another round in the bag for Na'Vi. These desperate T rounds for both sides. We have a tactical timeout for G2. A third tactical timeout. They have 1 remaining, as the glorious overlay also describes. There's money for the buy for the G2 side, but Na'Vi are 1 shy of match points.
Yeah, this starts to get really weird. You know, with teams trading rounds like this, it does put G2 in it starts to put them in a bit of a weird position, considering that on the first half, of course, G2 were only able to scrounge 3 rounds together. But from this position, Na'Vi do look like they could very well be just closing the match out. They need 2 rounds. G2, you know, they've run out of money with this buy. So this round basically has to work. Otherwise, you know, Na'Vi going to be on 15 rounds. G2 will be left with no economy. So this round has to work. There is no margin for error for G2 at this point.
4 AWPs on Overpass. You don't see that every day. And I'm quite curious on how this is going to work on the T side. We've seen that both CT teams haven't really given up much when the Ts have had 2 AWPs. Obviously, they don't know that, but we've seen success is a struggle. 2 plays on long. If Guardian goes for a peek, surely he is going to get picked. It's a great Molotov towards a tree position. Kenny's forced, but he will stand his ground. And Guardian, there he goes, taken out. But Simple might be a nasty surprise if he can get into a good position. But for now, he's outside Monster. Nobody peeking for him. I do wonder if he's willing to simply walk through Monster, scoped in with the AWP. Time will tell. I mean, there was a time where Simple on the CT side of Overpass would just run through Monster with perfect timing, time and time again. But those days have passed.
I feel like only Kenny S can hit that shot by the boulder. That was just disgusting, to be honest. And it's interesting too, because I wonder if Na'Vi read how G2 will play a 4 versus 4. I wonder if they've done that level of research into G2's CT rotations. Oh, there's a quick spot there. A lot of silence broken by contact between Seized and Shox towards short. Seized lucky to be alive there, down to 16 health. As MBK starts to feel the heat quite literally, as we see Molotovs tossed about by Na'Vi. 20 seconds, it has to be B, and there's the first entry. Flamey onto body, but is that where it stops? Or is that just the beginning here? Because Na'Vi, they've got 15 seconds, they have to go in. They've got to plant.
They're really dragging the seconds out, and Flamey, oh my god, that was so close, but it seems he may be successful, or perhaps he won't. They have to plant immediately, but they don't have possession of the bomb. What a hero play from NBK. His team can run away now and maybe get a kill after the fact. Simple, he needs to hide because they might peek him, but no, they won't. Tight stuff for both teams, but what a hero play from NBK. He knows what he just did. You saw that sigh of relief from him. 14-12, they're still in the game, and Na'Vi are not on match point. 4 AWPs continue.
It's actually crazy because it is the double AWPs that really made that so awkward, isn't it? I mean, it's so hard to move them in. You're in a spot where someone has to take initiative. It's just like, well, you don't want the AWPs to just run, and they got to be scoped up. It just doesn't really work out very well for your team to try to do that. So very awkward, and the lifeline here bought for G2, but for how long will it go on?
Again, the default 3 CTs in B for both teams on their CT sides, respectively. Ooh, Apex just took one in the face. He just took one in the face, man. He's got 14 HP, but it's G2 to get the first kill. Seized will respond, but he's got to be really careful because he has traces on his gun, and silenced weapon does not. wasn't a silencer, but what am I talking about? It
Yeah.
sounded like it from the bullets,
say.
but because it was from his perspective, so excuse me, both have tracers. Both have tracers every third bullet. It's the silencer M4 that has no tracers. Hello. The sound cue confused me, but it's fine. Everything is fine. 14 to 12, the double ops continue. I think it's really awkward on the T side, double ops.
Oh yeah.
In almost every scenario. I mean, we saw the difficulty from Immortals recently as well. And now we see Na'Vi sees responding with the sniper rifle. Simple on second one. 40 seconds and it's 3 versus 4 now.
Hold it. That tells them everything they need to know. They know 100% it's going to be A now, but there is just enough time here to get the bomb planted. Toss of the bomb over towards Edward. Simple can just hold position, try to cover everything essentially at this point, but he can't get to position in time. Sort of misread the timings there, and KennyS was way too far up for Simple to account for. And now Edward with 22 health against 3 players. That is not an easy ask. And he's going to be careful with the sound cues here, and he's going to be running straight to his demise. You can see the top right there, MBK very elated with that one. G2, they know that every round here is so difficult.
I think he was going for a hero play, a flank.
Oh no, absolutely, but
I thought he was saving it first. I thought he was just running away. It's like, nah, just no. But there we go.
the crazy thing is the double AWPs. It is. I'm sure they'll mention this on the analyst deck. If G2 are to actually win this game, we've seen quite a few of these rounds, you know, as mentioned, sort of just become awkward, a bit too awkward and uncomfortable for Na'Vi just by nature of the double AWPs. You get into a spot where, you know, okay, we've managed to open up the round, but actually now we need to move somewhere. And it's like, this is kind of hard.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of double AWPs on T side almost ever. Na'Vi's tactical timeout now. Roughly 3K for most players, but Simple's got 17. Man, they're still around ahead. Their loss bonus isn't spectacular, but they could take a punt with a rifle, and indeed he will do exactly that. AK, he's got himself some reasonable grenades as well, some Tech 9s on some of the other players. He's got 4K in the hole, so all good in the hood. Simple will buy down to 1700, so we'll see if this play will work out for Na'Vi, if Simple can get the entrances. He's behind Flamey at the moment, so Flamey is the shield, and Simple is the trade.
Looks like an explosive one is in store from Na'Vi onto that B bomb site. And indeed, a bunch of Molotovs tossed over the top, soaring through the air, carpeting the bomb site in the flames. It's an inferno here, but it will be the CTs with the hail of bullets here from these M4s rattling off to just annihilate every single player from Na'Vi. 14-14, G2 have tied it up. They are so close to at the very least securing overtime. And if you consider that first half, it was so desperate. So depressing, I imagine, as well for some of the G2 players that to now put themselves in this position.
The problem is, yeah, it is great, and the problem for Na'Vi is that yes, they're having similar CT sides in terms of score and things like that, but it's G2 with most of the momentum. Now it's that on the second half, it's them who are on the comeback and now have even the score. So it's Na'Vi who may be feeling the pressure slightly more than the Frenchman. Na'Vi with a reasonable number of nades, but not perfect by any means. Not a single Molotov on the T side. So that makes it harder to execute towards B. We saw previous rounds where they would throw Molotovs around the sewer area where you peek shorts, and you can double peek from that position. Shocks of an opening kill onto Guardian. Don't know how that wasn't a headshot, but he gets the kill either way.
And importantly, he gets the hell out of dodge. He's managed to escape. And look at the run there from Edward all the way up. And this might be the perfect play. KennyS goes for the shoulder peek. Very smart from KennyS there. Oh, and we had the pop flash, but the baits. Flamey's there to cover. Beautiful stuff there as a counterplay from Na'Vi. And that will equalize things as far as the men are concerned.
Man, love it when a bait comes together like that. You see a nice abandoned cake, throw your face in there, and it's full of maggots. 14 apiece, and now we have 3 on the A site from G2. They have a read of the situation, and their read is not incorrect. NBK, the timing is unreal, and he may be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Simple, slowly but surely, trying to get a pick there, not quite working out for him. And now it's a big fight, 3 on 3. This is a huge round for both teams. Shox holding his angle. The grenade missed him completely. He's only got 11 HP, and his teammate will come to the rescue, leaving FaZe alone. He's got 15 seconds. The entire CT team are here. What remains of them? We've got the initial angle. We've got the trade frags. Perfect for G2. Match point G2.
Things getting very scary now for Na'Vi. They were doing so well. Everything looked so amazing. I mean, in the first half, we're like, oh, there's been like 13 rounds and there's 46 frags between Edward and Simple, and now it's come all the way to this on the CT side due to finding all that comfort. And again, we look towards those double up rounds where Na'Vi they created good chances, but then they struggled. They had awkward situations to deal with. Double up for G2 though on the CT side has been perfect, picture perfect. Few pistols here for Na'Vi. This is it. They have to make this one work. G2 are so close now. One more round for them, and they've done it. What a boost this would be to them to come back from that very dreadful start.
Seized has possession of short B, and that may give Na'Vi the confidence to head in that direction. But they don't have... ooh, this is interesting. G2, maybe with a read. Apex is moving towards long to join Shox, but NBK is getting a kill through the smoke onto Flamey, so not much they can read from that. But now the rotation is coming back. Na'Vi trying to force their way into the site, but it's failing at every single point. All the doors are closed. Their tickets are invalid. They won't get a single kill. G2, 16-14. What a massive comeback. A mental test, an arduous task. A match of endurance, but they did it. They took it over the line.
And, I mean, it's great because in some respect as well, it's going to lessen some of the criticism of the coin flip situation at this, because that is kind of insane. They go for the coin flip between the two maps, then they're getting absolutely annihilated, and that's something that will very much raise many questions, as it already was on the desk. But as you said, they really showed their temerity here, the level of composure they can have when their backs are against the wall, and when they hit that CT side, man, they've done it so many times before. You can really find a groove and in a level of comfort. And again, in Na'Vi, they're going to look to some of those strategical choices and think, was